All right, so today I'm joined by Jacobe Smith after a crazy first round knockout at UFC Houston over Josiah Harrell. Welcome back, man. How you been?
Pretty good, brother. How about yourself?
I've been great, man. Been busy.
Yeah, I think we all been pretty busy.
Yeah, right. Especially with the new year, trying to get off to a good start. But I think you've been busy also because you've been training a lot. You've been switching up teams and stuff. So there's a lot of catching up that I think we need to go through a little bit. So just to start it off, I just mentioned it. Going into this fight, you switched teams. You were over at Fortis in I think Texas or something before this.
Yeah, that's downtown Dallas, and we
Dallas.
ended up opening up a gym in Forney, Texas. Uh, Pretty much a wrestling room, incorporated MMA, Ranger MMA, and ever since then, I think my last fight was International Fight Week of 2025. So there's about a 9-month delay, and in between that whole process, moving, finding partners to come over with us and doing all this it's been a little crazy, but I mean, training hasn't been compromised at all.
Okay, got you. And in the last interview after your fight, you were talking about like, bro, I've been training in the backyard and the front yard for like my whole UFC career so far, and it's been difficult to kind of like find my place over at Fortis because I kind of joined and this gym's already established, so I don't really have a lot of partners or like, friends and stuff like that around here. So it's hard for me to get a lot of connection. So I've been training by myself.
I'm not even half of where I'm gonna be. And that's just telling the truth. Most of my camp was done at home in my front yard, backyard, running through my neighborhood. And Ilya Tapori got his whole team. He's showing up to the team every day, strength and conditioning, professionals getting him to do this, doing that, doing that. But then you got me waking up, staying home, homeschooling my kids, waiting until my wife gets off work at 5, and then, put my stuff on, going for a run through the neighborhood, shadow boxing, calling whoever I can. Most of the times, nobody ever came to my house and helped me train. And over 70% of my camp was done in my front yard and my backyard on my own. So
Damn.
y'all
Still?
seeing y'all seeing this for me. This is me. This is me, you know.
Well, because I mean, everybody knows to some degree that you train at Fortis, but I remember when we were talking in that last interview, you were kind of saying like, I don't really train like that. Like, I don't really go into the gym that often. At least I
hmm
thought when you don't have a fight booked, but then you got the fight booked. I thought that you were going to start going in the gym more, but still 70% of the camp
Yeah.
was at
So
home.
yeah, that's what it is for
Is that
me.
because the living situation or like because you don't want to like something about training partners or something like that? Or what's like the biggest
I guess
contributing factor?
I guess it's a little bit of everything. I'm not the type of guy to go out of my way and ask them. I feel like moving from AKA to Fortis, you know, that a little bit of an outsider in a sense. And I ain't finna be like, hey, y'all need to be here doing this for me and this and that, making demands on people that, this is their home. It was their home before mine. And so I'm trying to build my team how Elia Taporia or Charles did theirs. And so it ain't a question. I got them calling me, telling me where I need to be, holding me accountable, doing this. But you got them, they had a job and was doing all this before I even came in the picture. And now that I'm in the picture, I'm not going out of my way to ask people to do this for me or do that for me because I know how to get up and bust my ass and push myself, honestly.
So you opened up Ranger MMA with a bunch of wrestlers from where?
Oklahoma State, Kyle Crutchmer and Nick Piccininni. We were the three that started it, and then I think we've grown the team to about 20 to 35 plus. And then you got your people that come in and out every now and then to help, like Ramiz or Kevin Pease. I mean, we got some good athletes to come in whenever we need them. It's just getting them to fully commit and come over to the gym. So everything's been nice, smooth flowing. Uh, it's just not having that gym. Like, you got nights where you want to go in and use the sauna or get a workout in late at night or do this and do that. We got access to those kind of things now, and it's actually a good thing for me.
Okay. And what was the, deciding factor to kinda make this switch? Were you still trying to make it work at Fortis for a little bit, for, like, a couple months after your last fight, and you just came to a conclusion, like, "I think it would be better off if I go somewhere else and get some of my old teammates to kinda, like, be my head coaches, so to speak?"
Yeah, so there was really no bad blood with the switch. It just I just started noticing things that that rubbed me wrong coming from the head coach at Fortis, and I wasn't all the way for that. And I would have been training back and forth because I didn't have a problem with nobody. But then, some words got tangled up trying to get me to, you know, bump heads with, my friends that, they family literally invited me to their Christmases. You know, they send my kids stuff. They call me and ask me how I'm doing weekly, for somebody to try to, spread rumors that they are trying to like do me dirty. It just didn't sit right with me. So I just dismissed myself from the whole situation.
Okay, got you. Was, the person that they're trying to make it seem like did you dirty, is that somebody from, like, a different gym or something? Is that why these rumors were spreading, or, like, what's the
No,
origin of
from
it?
that gym, from Fortis.
Oh, so they're from Fortis, and they're trying to get you to beef with somebody from Fortis.
No, yeah, pretty much. The dude, so before we moved to Fortis, I was at AKA, as everybody knows. And Kyle Crutchmer and Nick Piccininni and myself, we started this fight game together. We lived in a shack down there in California. When we moved to Fortis, it was us three, pretty much. And Kyle Crutchmer wanted to start his own gym, and he wanted me and Nick to be head coaches and a part of it. And as we did our careers, be a part of that. And we were for it. And I was going to be a part of it and still train at Fortis pretty much back and forth. And a lot of drama started going around, just rumors. I don't know who started them. He say, she say shit, but I got a phone call and people was trying to mix me in the drama. So I put everybody on a fucking joined call and was like, so what was said, who was said, and a lot of people wasn't answering the phone and changing up stories. So I just dismissed myself from the whole situation all in hand.
Okay. You try to solve it, and nobody wants to own up and raise their
Mhm.
hand for who started
Oh
it, so
yeah.
you're like, "Alright,
I don't
fuck
because I don't
this."
play that shit.
Yeah.
And as soon as I gave everybody the opportunity, motherfuckers wasn't answering the phone. People, I didn't say this, and I'm keeping tallies because I know you said this. And so I dismiss myself because I'm not. I mean, fighting is enough for me, and I don't really fuck around with the drama.
Yeah.
I leave that shit for everybody else.
Yeah, and I know that you and, Nick Piccininni and Crutchmer are pretty close. So
Oh
whoever
yeah,
tried to get in the way between you guys, I mean, I'm assuming that one of those guys called you and they're like, "Yo, so and so says this is going on. Is this true?" And you put him on blast.
definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I put everybody on blast, like, who's saying what, what's being said, put the fucking messages in this group text, group message. Say what you said to me, because this is what you told me, and nobody's story seemed to match up. So I just backed off. It was like, from moving forward, I'm representing a different gym. Thank you guys for the opportunity, but I'm representing myself from here on out.
Okay, got you. And a lot of people were thinking that, like, Ranger was based out of Vegas. So just to be specific, you're still in Dallas?
Yeah, it's Forney, Texas, so it's not
Foley,
too far from
Texas.
Dallas. Yeah.
Okay, for sure. And, this might be, random to you, or this might be a part of, related to your story a little bit, so this is why I'm bringing it up. And I was actually gonna ask you a different way of bringing this up, which was I do a lot of interviews with Joaquin Buckley. He told me
Mhm,
that he wanted you to come train with him in St. Louis. Like, he had reached out somewhere along the lines to get some
mhm,
work in with you. He wanted to pay you to come train with him. But, he
mm,
said that your head coach got in the way of that to some degree, and so that's why it didn't come to fruition. And so in our past interview, I was like, "Well, I know Jacobe, so if you ever want me to reach out to Jacobe, I could easily send him a message and, help you guys get connected if you're interested in that. If not, no
yeah,
worries." But now that you tell me this, and Joaquin was telling me your coach got in the way of it, I figured I
Yeah.
would just bring it up in general. And I was gonna ask you, like, now that you're at a different gym, because Joaquin said that your coach got in the way of that, would you be
Mhm.
open to train with him now? That's kinda
Oh,
like
absolutely,
okay.
and the crazy thing, I knew nothing about this, like,
Wow.
so that's bullshit, I don't know what they had going on, but, that never this is my first time hearing about it. Um, Literally, I did this fight camp down in San Jose pretty much with DC mostly, and while I was down there, Crutchmer reached out to me and was telling me, "I'm gonna try to get you set up with Buckley because I've been hearing that y'all 2 should train." He was down to train or whatever, and I was like, "Damn, I wish I woulda known this. We coulda brung him out here or we coulda linked up before this," but, outside of that, I knew nothing about that, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is
So, that
crazy.
just goes to show, man, it's a whole bunch of bullshit going behind, and who knows, man? So, I think it's just been for the better.
Yeah. Okay. For sure. Well, people be doing shady shit. It's like a lot of people talk behind the scenes. Like a conversation me and Joaquin had, completely innocent, might be bringing some other things to the forefront now, which is very interesting. So I guess we'll see. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have him on this week because his fight with Sean Brady got booked. So I'll let him
yeah,
know like you guys are down to train with him, and you didn't know anything about like the offers in the past getting denied or anything like that.
yeah. Them dudes, they crazy, man. They try to control the whole narrative and this and that, and the crazy thing is, like, they was ran a certain way at Fortis that I didn't completely agree with, but them accepting us and being able to move here and be closer to family, I just, shut up and trained and just fell in line. And then everything started breaking out about all the bullshit going on and it started affecting me and the shit that I did, because I mean the smallest shit like, you training at a gym and the motherfuckers are telling you, we don't train with shirts off, put your fucking shirts on. And I'm out there and I'm in the middle of sparring and I'm taking my shirts off. I'm taking my shirt off. And, the head coach talking about, put your fucking shirt back on. I'm like, I'm not putting my shirt back on. And whoever coming over here to train with me, they need to take their shirt off because I'm taking them down a little too easy. And when I fight, I don't fight with no shirt on. So I need the real feel. And, everybody looking at me like, oh shit, he's stepping up to authority type shit. And I'm like, bro, this is bullshit. Like we had a fighting gym. We fight like this and that. Like little things like that just rubbed me wrong. But it got to the point where I'm like, nothing that you doing is making sense. Like I'm not progressing. Like I'm in here wrestle fucking everybody and not evolving my game. So, I'm starting to make decisions for myself that I know is gonna get me to another level.
Mhm. Interesting.
But
That's
yeah,
crazy.
crazy,
A lot of
crazy shit.
micromanaging and shit like that, like,
Yes,
between the
literally.
what you wear at training, who you get to train
Mhm.
with,
Mhm.
like, you and your other training partners opening up a gym and splitting time, they don't like none of it. They want you to be
Yeah.
100% Fortis, nothing else.
Yeah, it's which is crazy because how you gonna evolve if you fucking everybody up at Fortis and, you know, you giving everybody work, they improving, but you staying at this stagnant ass spot and, you know, you gotta be your own man at some point.
Mhm, for sure. What does DC think about all that fucking, like, micromanaging? Because obviously he's kinda like your mentor, kinda like one of your yeah, mentors, I guess is the right word for it, so he kinda guides you a little bit if you ever need advice, so what did he make
Yeah,
of
he gets
everything?
it more than anybody, man. He gets it.
He's like, "No, that's bullshit."
Yeah, he want us here around our family. If we get a fight scheduled, come here, fly in whoever we need to fly in. You let me know who you want me to fly in. He'll fly in people for me. He, if I wanted to Buckley to come train with me in Cali, DC would handle all that for me. Pretty much being my manager, my management team. They handle all that shit for me, and it's never been a problem. Like and outside of training and everything, just building, the skill aspect on what you need to be doing to be on the right road to becoming a champ. He touching all the points and it just makes sense that they were just on so different spectrums that if we did try to listen to DC it was a problem for that gym. So it just it didn't click, and it was creating more chaos than doing good. So had to level up pretty much.
I see. And now that you guys are over at Ranger or form that gym, you and DC, along with Crutchmer and Piccininni, can all work in harmony. Versus
Yeah,
like
like
I'm trying to do what DC's telling me, then this guy's telling me do something else. Now I got to go to DC and tell him he doesn't want me to do it. DC's making me go back
mhm,
to him. It's like, bro, I'm trying
yeah,
to train for this fight. I'm worried about homie punching me in the face right now. Not
yeah,
like pissing off my head coach when world
mhm,
champion DC's trying to tell me what to do, you know?
yeah. A guy
Crazy.
that knows the blueprint and
Exactly.
has actually fought in the UFC and experienced greatness.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm open and like what big deal is it that I go train with this guy over here? I'll do it accordingly, because I know how to take care of myself. Shit get too crazy. You go to different gyms, they try to green light you, do this and that, hurt you. Like I understand that shit, man. I got my wits about me. And I mean, if that ever became a problem, I'm not traveling on my own. I got a team. We can handle that shit and get out, respectfully if that did become the issue. But, we all trying to, obtain greatness, and somebody reaching out because they know I'm good here and I know I could benefit from it. You can feel the generosity, the genuine fucking concern of them trying to help. And if there's any question about it, then, I'll just dismiss myself from the situation. But I mean, it helps. We all just fighting. And if you get those bullshit guys like people that do try to fuck you over, you kind of get that feeling in the beginning and you just listen to your instincts. But I haven't came across nobody that was just a piece of shit like that.
Yeah. Don't tell me though. I mean, I'm just assuming, so tell me whether I'm accurate or not, but don't tell me that the gym was like, "Nah, we don't want you training over here for your own safety." Is that what they were saying? Like, don't go train at other gyms because they might greenlight you. Like, we're looking out for your best interest. Don't train elsewhere. Or am I making that up?
Uh, no, that just it's an implied thing. Like that's the smartest thing you can put on it when it's not making sense and details not being put out there. But I'm at the gym, everybody else is cross training doing all this. But as soon as me and my little group do it, it becomes a problem. And I don't know if that stems from he sees my potential and you know somebody might steal me or
That's the
I
first thing that
might
came
end
to my
up.
mind, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
yeah, that kind of shit going on. But before all the bullshit, before we started cross training, me and my boys, Nick and Kyle, it was never a problem to cross train. But as soon as we start doing it, it's like we not doing this cross training bullshit. We at this gym, this and this, extra trainings being implemented and this and that to keep us from doing that. And it just rubbed me wrong.
I got you. All right. Well, fair enough. It seems like they just wanted to keep it in house. And I think a lot of people know it's a bit of an unsaid thing that a lot of coaches, right, have ulterior motives. They'll grab a
Mhm.
fighter and use that fighter as a ticket for them to get a lot more clout and a lot more notoriety and ascend their own careers.
Yeah.
And that's why they want to keep certain fighters in house. Not to say they did that with you, but I think it is a fair um, thing to point out. That happens in the sport for sure.
Mhm.
Okay. And then, like, how many weeks did you spend in Cali, if anything, just training over at DC's gym? Because he recently started a new team as well.
I went out there for 4 weeks, hit another level of shape. Hadn't been in that kind of shape since Oklahoma State wrestling. So it's pretty much, that accountability. And then once I finished there, flew out to Vegas for a week, got my UFC PI shit in, and then had like a week and a half or so before the fight, flew back home, finished up the camp, and it was perfect because I was expecting that fight. Well, I ain't gonna say expecting it, but I was wanting it to go the distance. But I was so ready that I kind of knew that it was gonna be a cakewalk.